Hey guys, welcome to Cameron's Film Corner, where we review the films that you guys submit to us. Today we're going to be going on a segment that I like to call The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. We're going to be reviewing a good film, a bad film, and just a complete ugly film. Movie puns, you know. Yeah, it's probably over your head. Anyway, today we're going to be starting off with the 1973 horror film The Exorcist, named the scariest film of all time. Second film we're going to be doing is actually considered to be the worst film of all time, competing with Ed Wood's Plan 9 from Outer Space. Troll 2, no relation to Troll. And last but not least, the ugly film. The worst of the worst in our segment. The one that you probably should skip over. You probably should. It's actually a really good review. Anyway, we're going to be doing a review on a less famous film that actually not many people know about, that received an average review on IMDb of 1.9 out of 10. Vic Savage's film, The Creeping Terror. Got quite an interesting history behind it, which I will explain in our review. But stay tuned for our review of the scariest film of all time, The Exorcist.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
The Exorcist, a 1973 horror film directed by acclaimed director William Friedkin and written by author William Peter Blatty, has been scaring audiences for over 40 years. The film is based off of Blatty's 1971 novel in which a young girl gets possessed by a dangerous demon and two priests must find a way to rid the demon from the girl before it's too late. Upon the film's release, audiences were reportedly vomiting and leaving the theater partway through the movie due to the graphic and revolutionary use of imagery throughout the movie. But what makes this film so great? The Exorcist arguably changed the face of horror forever. It set the bar for quality and really started the possession subgenre of horror. While a movie was released 1 year before about a possession of a young boy, The Exorcist really made the mark and really set the tone for future possession movies of the possession subgenre of horror. From its infamous head spin and masturbation scene to some of the most recognizable lines of all time, The Exorcist is sure to scare and please all horror fans. At almost 41 years old, it still delivers the same scares as it did when it was first released back on Christmas Day of 1973. While some of the technology and dialogue may be a bit outdated, the scares and techniques that Friedkin and Blatty use will last a lifetime. And although the film spawned 3 sequels and 2 prequels, The Exorcist is the best installment from the entire anthology due to its powerful imagery and having you question whether there really is a god. With that being said, I give The Exorcist 5 head spins out of 5.
What is it?
Welcome back, guys. I hope you enjoyed my review on The Exorcist, and I hope you're saying that it was an excellent day for an exorcism. Next up, we have our review on Troll 2, named the worst film of all time on IMDb for quite some time, actually. It was the lowest rated film of all time on IMDb, and I believe it got bumped up a couple ratings, actually, in recent years. But there has been a documentary called Best Worst Film, actually created by the main character of Troll 2. He was a kid in the movie, and now he's an adult, but the documentary is about the making of Troll 2 and how it impacted the actors' lives. A very good film. I recommend it. Anyway, here is our review on Troll 2.
Do you see this writing? Do you know what it means? Hospitality. and you can't piss on hospitality. I won't allow it.
It's been hailed as the worst movie of all time. Troll 2, with no relation to the original Troll, has been making audiences laugh for over 20 years. It's been called the best worst movie of all time, and has even had a documentary named The Best Worst Movie made about the movie itself.
Stop! What are you doing to my son?
I got a chance to speak to one of the actors, Darren Ewing, about his experience on the movie.
And then they're going to eat me! Oh my God!
It was an experience. It was my first film, first one I was ever in, and so I was very excited by the whole thing. I don't know if you know or not, but the entire crew was from Rome, Italy. So very little English was spoken. I still to this day don't understand how they came to pick northern Utah as the setting for their film, because Claudio had made a number of like hundreds of other films in Italy. So why they came to Utah, I can only speculate. But you know, it's an Italian crew. Obviously, I knew that it was a low-budget film. I knew that the script didn't make a whole lot of sense, but I was just so excited to finally be in a movie and to have a fairly significant role that I was just very like, yes, whatever you want me to do, I will do it. You know, I was just trying. I was a very eager young actor at the time. Trying to make some very clunky dialogue work. It was obviously not a union picture, so there were no trailers. There was very little craft service. You had to bring your own, like, you know, you just sit on the ground. There weren't even folding chairs or anything in the off moments. And they did a lot of things during the production that you just, even a non-union movie couldn't get away with now. So it was very exciting for me, even though I knew that it was a low budget picture.
What did you see? Grandpa's death.
Given Darren's performance and his experiences on Troll 2, this movie is one of the most memorably bad movies of all time.
Stop it, please.
But in a good
Never
way.
liked that kid, I never did.
If you're up for a really bad B-grade film, or a really good bad B-grade film,
Joshua,
I would highly
sing it.
recommend
Come on, sing that
Troll
song
2.
I like so much.
For that,
I feel like
I give it
singing.
4
Just sing.
Nilbogs
Row, row,
out of
row
5.
your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but.
Hey guys, I hope that last review on Troll 2 didn't deter you from our third review, our bad review. Don't worry, it's actually good. On possibly one of the worst movies of all time, The Creeping Terror. Made in 1960 by an escaped convict named Vic Savage, who wanted to make a quick buck, this movie centers around a monstrosity that tries to destroy all humans on Earth, but in a very bizarre fashion. In fact, the monster itself, and I kid you not, is a bunch of sewn shag rugs and pipe cleaners as heads. In fact, it's a mix between a Chinese dragon and what I can only assume as a horrible, horrible failed science experiment. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy our next review on The Creeping Terror as much as I enjoyed this terrible film. Here's our review on The Creeping Terror. Ah yes, The Creeping Terror. The granddaddy of them all, the worst of the worst, the creme de la creme of good bad. A shagadelic rug monster comes to Earth to attack and kill all humans and obliterate all of mankind. Pretty cliche, right? This no-budget film has to be one of my absolute best worst films of all time. The reason being is because of its horrible quality, no-name actors, and best of all, creepy monster, which was actually a giant sewn rug with pipes sticking out. But who would have thought of making such a devilishly bad film? Surprisingly, this film was made by an ex-convict that escaped from prison. He thought of a way to make a quick buck by buying a camera and doing what any logical person would do, make a movie. Fast forward to the production of its release, and it turned out to be one of the most well-known pieces of garbage that anyone's ever seen. I mean, anyone can see that because it has a 1.6 average rating on IMDb. You're probably saying, enough already, get on with the freaking review. The Creeping Terror was one hell of an acid trip. You might get a better experience watching it if you were under the influence of mind-altering drugs such as marijuana or LSD. Monster was laughable, the acting was cheesier than Wisconsin dairy farms, and it looked like it was filmed in the basement of some guy's mom's house. But aside from its harsh critical analysis from different critics and general movie lovers, this film deserves 10 pipes out of 10.